And there's not another soul in sight. The playa got a little tricky. I had to get off of it. This is Paul with C2 Overland, and this overland journey is taking us into the Great Basin of Nevada. We're going to head into the Black Rock Desert and explore an ancient mystery from the Paiute people. This is said to be a cannibalistic tribe of people that preyed on the Paiutes, ate their dead, set traps for them, killed them, ate them, and these cannibals supposedly were forced into the cave of Lovelock, where the Paiute people piled a bunch of brush and wood in front of the opening, lit it on fire, smoked them out, and then took bows and arrows and shot them as they were running out of the cave until there were no more cannibals left. So this is a story I built an overland trip around. It's going to be a 3-day trip. Right now I'm headed along the Truckee. From Lake Tahoe, the Truckee flows to Pyramid Lake, and that's where I'm headed. And that's roughly 121 miles of the Truckee River that drops down at about 2,000 feet of elevation and empties into Pyramid Lake. Wake up the next day and head through the Trinity Range over into the Great Basin and into Lovelock and do a midnight entry of the Cannibal Cave of Lovelock. And that ought to be a lot of fun. So I'm on a solo trip. I'm very anxious to get into it. I'm excited, and I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it's going to be fun. I'm just making a quick stop at Pyramid Lake. I need to get out to the Black Rock Desert, get camp set up, and prepare for the next day. I couldn't drive by this lake without showcasing it for everybody to see. Some people believe there's ancient subterranean tunnels that connect Lake Tahoe to Lake Pyramid. One of the myths are that people pass away and drown in Lake Tahoe and they find their bodies mysteriously in Pyramid Lake. Alright, so that wraps up Pyramid Lake, and now we are going to see if we can get an eye on some ancient petroglyphs. Some of these petroglyphs are believed to be the oldest in North America, and some of them correlate with stories of the redhead cannibals being in this area. I'm sure it's a myth, but it sounds cool. So we're going to go see if we can even get close to seeing them. This is definitely hallowed ground, and I only step foot on it with the utmost respect. When you come out to these spots, do your best not to disturb anything, and definitely don't take anything with you unless you want bad luck in your life. Trust me, it'll happen. Man, looking at these ancient carvings in these rocks makes me think how I'm gonna leave my mark and how people are gonna remember me. Putting out these YouTube videos sure is a step in the right direction. This is a log for my children, my family, and my future generations, maybe to come back and see what kind of man I used to be. Wow, the Black Rock Desert just hits different. It rivals Death Valley in so many ways. It truly is a wild space, and we need to keep it that way. Hard Knocks 101. When driving on the playa, you find yourself in places where you can't stop or you'll get stuck. Here's one of those times. Pretty risky on a solo trip to make a move like this, but like old Jack Burton says, what the hell? Oh no! Oh no, no, no. There's no shit over here, bro. I gotta get out of here. Holy shit, bro. You're stupid. There was supposed to be a railroad crossing right there, but there wasn't. So I ended up getting pinned between the railroad tracks in a low spot of runoff. I was driving through 2 feet of water. The vastness of the playa really does invoke a sense of freedom. People travel from all around the world to come out here and express that. It's like a giant canvas, and my rig's the pencil. And now it's time to get lost in my art. And this is how I'm gonna do it. True overlanding doesn't require expensive equipment or the latest tech. It's about embracing the spirit of exploration and self reliance with whatever resources you have. This is a great spot. And I'm already in position to head that direction there, over that mountain range and into Lovelock. Sometimes things just work out like that. I couldn't be more thrilled with the spot. There's going to be probably an epic sunset tonight. I can feel it. But we are near Trego, Playa, and this spot is killer. Protected by some rocks here in case the wind kicks up, but it's not supposed to be windy, but it is supposed to drop down into the 20s tonight. That's going to be cold. And I don't have my diesel heater, but I do have a heated blanket, so I should be all right. But my face will be cold and everything will be frozen in the morning, which means I'm going to have to take my batteries and everything and put them in a warming sack to keep them warm for all my cameras and everything. But that's how it goes. But check this camp spot out. Fire pit, rock protection, overlooking the whole playa. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that sunset. This should change colors out here. It's already starting to over there. I wish I knew what everything was called, but I don't. Wow, snow on there. That's beautiful. So I just need to get camp set up and then get cooking dinner. Tonight we're going to have kind of a shrimp and crab jambalaya, and it should be pretty good. Getting a fire going. It's going to be a beautiful night by the campfire. And there's not another soul in sight. The playa got a little tricky. I had to get off of it. It's just a little too wet for me, and I don't want to get stuck out here. Anyway, I'll check back in. Overland. The word encapsulates so much more in a single word. Adventure, exploration, resilience, and the journey itself. It's a word that speaks to traversing landscapes, connecting with nature, and finding meaning in the path rather than the destination. Ooh-wee, I'm going to take this dinner Cajun. Here we go for a trip on down to the bayou. Food can be funny like that. I can lose my eyesight, still travel around the world, and know where I'm at just by the food I'm eating. Refrigerator technology has came a long way. These 12-volt, low-consumption refrigerators give me the ability to take these ingredients in the middle of nowhere and make these meals. I really don't know how I made it through life without them, but I love it. Grandma Alice, shout out to you for hooking me up with these mean cooking skills. I appreciate the time you took with me when I was young to really develop a life skill like this. And I'm lucky to have it. If you're wondering what I'm doing with the flour and the butter, I'm building a roux. If you can learn how to make a roux, you can really elevate your cooking game. When I was a young kid growing up in San Francisco, I used to get in trouble a lot. And instead of punishing me, my grandma would drag me in the kitchen and she'd teach me how to make these things. She was an excellent cook. Instead of hitting me or yelling at me, she'd put me to work in the kitchen. And I took these skills long into life after that. I appreciate the time and the patience you took with me, Grandma Alice. That's my last piece of fresh crab from my harvest earlier this year. I guess I'm gonna have to load up the kayak and go get some more. Simple, fresh ingredients are always gonna be key for making the best food, especially when you go out and harvest it yourself. If it wasn't such a pain in the butt on the West Coast to go out and get my own shrimp, I'd probably do that too. Thanks for the fresh shrimp, Lingo. That was a joke. I'm pretty sure eating by the campfire is the way it's meant to be and the way it's always been. All right, so that was a beautiful night in the desert. I'm going to finish this gumbo up, sit by the fire for a while, maybe do a little night photography if the sky clears up, and then climb up in the tent and watch a movie. But tomorrow I plan to wake up and head over the Trinity Range into Lovelock and explore that whole backside of this valley. I've never even been over there. And we're going to go to the cave of the red cannibal giants. And if everything works out cool, I'm planning on doing like a midnight run into that cave just to add a little bit of suspense. Yep, that's the plan for tomorrow. And whatever we get into in between here and there, it's dark out here. There's a thing they call frozen fog up, so it's blocking half the stars. And but I got a nice site, a nice real wood campfire, and it's almost dead calm. The wind's blowing like 2 miles an hour. I mean, what more can you ask for? So yeah, should be a pretty relaxing night. I'm pretty beat. It was a big day. Full from dinner and anxious to hop up in the tent and get warm, maybe watch a scary movie on the iPad and crash out. And then tomorrow, pack up camp and finish the second part to this adventure. So, yeah, it's been fun. The Black Rock Desert is a cool place. And I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the evening. So, I'm going to sign off for tonight, and I will see you all in the morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Here at C2 Overland, your time is valued, and I appreciate your support. All right, so we made it over to Trego Hot Springs. Let's go check them out. It's like here's where you climb down. Oh, there's fish in there. Can't be that contaminated. Hope you can see the fish with the ND filter on there. Wow. It's a nice little spring. Ooh, beautiful. There's nobody here. Warning, water contaminated, advised not to enter. So enter at your own risk. But wow. Super clear water. It looks like it'll stir up though if you hit the bottom, but there's some pretty deep pockets. If you bring a floaty out here, you're set. That's a little spring hack. Oh, let's walk around to the other side. Trego Hot Springs, nestled in the Black Rock Desert, was a vital oasis for indigenous people long before settlers arrived. Named for its sulfur-rich waters, Trego became a waypoint for pioneers crossing the rugged Nevada terrain. During the late 19th century, the springs were a brief stopover for miners seeking fortune in the desert's vast emptiness. Today, its quiet presence serves as a reminder of the resilience of those who found solace and survival in its warm, healing waters. Definitely where the heat's coming out. The water's bubbling. What a cool place. I don't know if I'm buying that. We're leaving Trego Hot Springs and we're going to drive over the Camo Mountains and drop over into the Great Basin. And some way along, I might pick up Highway 80 and shoot down, but I don't know. So once I get through this mountain route, we'll see where we're at. I've never been in this area before, so I got a lot of adventuring and discovering to do, kind of figure out my way through there. Overlanding is the art of moving through open country, day by day, never lingering too long, savoring the journey every step of the way. How you do it is up to you. The essence remains the same. This open country like this it's what I long for. Traveling through these vast open spaces feels like stepping into a time machine where the land whispers stories of the ages. I can't help but lose myself in these moments. This is a beautiful, vast, open space. I often ask myself how many true freedoms will we still be able to enjoy in this country. Freedom is found in wild places, in the miles we travel, the trails we carve and the untamed beauty we protect. Lose that, and we lose everything. So right now I'm still moving through the Cama mountain range. Kind of the Trinity mountain range is over there. These videos are my time capsule, a way for my family to see me, living fully and doing what I love. Long after I'm gone, the journey continues, even when I no longer can. If you like desert travel, man, this is one to check out. It's just, I got this place all to myself. I'm just cruising these roads. A lot of these roads are manicured. They're flat. Hardly any washboards at all. And then there's Jeep trails that link them all together. And I've been kind of flying down the Jeep trails and hitting these, I call them dirt freeways, and moving to different parts of this mountain range. These desert playas appear out of nowhere, like ghosts of the desert haunting the horizon with their stillness. There definitely is a true magic about crossing a playa. It's really cool to drive through landscapes like this because you can picture how it's always been. It hasn't been modified, bulldozed, ruined by cities. In the desert, overlanding becomes more than travel. It's a dance with freedom under an infinite sky. As I'm moving through our beautiful country, I find myself tracing the paths of those who came before us. I'm reminded of the immigrant families who carved their way west, driven by hope and the dream of new beginnings. Their trails now guide my own quest for adventure and discovery. I was really hoping I'd run into some wild horses out here. Wide open country, and there's got to be some wild Mustangs out here somewhere. Or some antelope, some speed goats. I've seen a lot of scat on the road. Still moving through the Cama mountain range. It is breathtaking back here. There's a magic to Rosebud Canyon. This is where the untamed beauty of the Cama mountain range stirs up deep senses of awe. Traveling through the desert and then suddenly hitting a pop of color like this in the mountains is like a fireworks display, sort of like the grand finale. You get it all to yourself right there in that moment, and then the colors fade back into the normal desert and earth tones of the backcountry. In my opinion, Rosebud Canyon, located in the Cama mountain range, puts artist palette in Death Valley to shame.
That's been through life, it's so much easier to say who I am and who I wanna be. Don't getting old, don't bother me. Truth can be a bitter pill, but it'll do you
All right, so we made it to the cave of Lovelock. This is the cave that the ancient Paiute people said was inhabited by redhead cannibal giants. In 1911, there were 2 miners that found a 6'6" skeleton in there that kind of sparked off the modern day myths about this cave. But it's the cave of Lovelock, and we're here, but we're just outside of the area. I found this little camp, so I'm gonna set up, cook an early dinner, get everything ready for tonight, and then tonight we're gonna go into the Lovelock cave and explore for ourselves under the cover of darkness. So that should be fun. But I found this cool little camp. This is how you find these spots. You just gotta go. You know, this spot is good. I mean, I would normally camp here anyway. So check it out. It's got a little fire pit too. Probably won't use that tonight though. And it's all surrounded by this cool red rock. But it's a cool little camp. It's just outside of the Lovelock cave. The Lovelock cave's just over that bluff, over those hoodoos on the other side. So I am gonna break the rig down and get cooking. And we're gonna have steak, green beans, mushrooms, and potatoes. So let's get going on dinner. Like the chuck wagons of the old immigrant trails, my overland rig carries the spirit of the open range, where meals were cooked under endless skies. But with modern conveniences at my fingertips, I can savor the same freedom of the prairie while enjoying the comforts that pioneers can only dream of. I have to admit, the imposing presence of the cave caught me off guard for a second. Lovelock Cave's location near the marshlands and the Humboldt Sink made it an ideal base of operations for early inhabitants. The rich biodiversity of the area, wildfowl, tule elk, geese, and migratory birds would have provided ample resources for sustenance. The cave's strategic placement offered both shelter and proximity to hunting grounds, making it a hub for hunter-gatherer societies. That was the first impression I got, being a hunter-gatherer myself. As soon as I set foot on these grounds, this place was definitely a prized gem. Given the abundance of wildlife and the seasonal nature of migrations, it's easy to imagine how competition among local tribes for such a prime resource area would have been fierce. This region's ecological richness not only sustained life, but likely shaped cultural practices, alliances, and conflicts among the inhabitants. So we made it to the Lovelock cave, and there it is. And I'm just waiting for sundown, which is in about a half an hour. As soon as it starts getting dark, we're going to go up to the cave and explore it. And I'm going to camp right here tonight. And then we're going to make our way up this ridge and into the cave. It should be pretty fun. But this was the destination for this overland trip. It's kind of different. Most overland trips aren't about the destination. They're just about the journey to get there, which it was a fun one. There are some beautiful things I came across, some crazy parts in the desert. And if anything, I got a bunch of stories. You see the cave on YouTube? It doesn't look like anything. But when you see it in person, it's impressive. It's big. And I guess part of it collapsed, so it was even bigger than this. When you drive up to it, you know it. You know it when you see it. All right, it's dark and it's time to head up to the cave. So let's start the hike up. Things I do for adventure. This is how I don't get bored. I just have fun. And this is fun. The older I get, the more I realize how precious time is. At 48, it feels like yesterday I was a kid. And that's why I still chase those little kid adventures. Because life is too short not to live it fully. Watching loved ones pass away shifts everything. It makes you see how fragile and fleeting life really is. It changes how you approach each day, each moment, remembering to cherish what truly matters. And that's connections, experiences, and the simple act of being present. It sharpens the sense that time isn't guaranteed. And in the face of loss, you learn to embrace life with a deeper gratitude and urgency. That's definitely the main fuel for my adventures, and that's how I keep the fire burning. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody how to live their life. Me personally, this is just what life's experiences have taught me over the years. It's supposed to be 18 degrees tonight, and all I have is a heated blanket. No diesel heater. Can he survive the night? Will he get eaten by redhead giant cannibals? Or will he die from being froze to death? I'll take the latter. Yeah, it's a little bit of a hike. All right, now we're getting somewhere. There's the other trail coming up the other side. Glad I went the way I did. There's my rig way down there. All right, let's check it out. Cool. This is a cool cave. Alright, that was a little side entrance. Oh. Alright, first thing that stands out to me is I'm a bit of a duck hunter, and this cave would make one killer duck blind. It overlooks a pristine marshland that's full of geese, wildfowl, migratory birds. Not to mention the fact that they found duck decoys, ancient duck decoys down in this cave. So that's about the fact of this place. Now it's time to get with the myth. And to me, the myth is always more exciting. All right. Super cool. Let's get down inside. Hope I brought enough lighting with me. So here's the burning right here. Proof that there was a fire, either from ancient lore or people who just use this cave to hunt and fish out of, and lit fires in here to stay warm. Yeah, see all the char on the ceiling. So the C2 cod, that's what the native Paiutes called them in this area. And the lore is that their tribe went to war with them because they were cannibals and they were preying on Paiute people. And they wanted them to stop and they wouldn't. So they chased them all around this region, killing them, trying to stop them. And the last remaining ones, they chased into this cave, burned them in the cave, and then when they came outside or tried to escape from the fire, they hit them with arrows and they fell at the entrance. And then in 1911, two miners were mining bat guano in here, and they found remnants of a 6'6" skeleton in here. And I'm pretty sure that's what sparked modern theories about what's going on here. Oh, that's cool. So I had to come see it for myself. There's all kinds of stories on YouTube and the internet. And they actually did some semi-professional archaeology work here. They didn't make it a priority. What's up in here? Oh, look, a bat. Check him out. He's getting ready. What kind of bat that is? He's cool. He's waiting till the sun goes down all the way. So here's probably where all the bats are. Up in here. It's really cool to come across one like that. I hope you can see it. disturb them. Always wanted to get a shot of bats flying out of a cave. Something I've never seen before, like on a big scale. So there's proof there's guano in here. So that part's true. Yeah. This is a cool cave. Couldn't think of a better myth to plan an overland trip through Nevada. Cool. So I did read somewhere that part of this cave collapsed. I guess it was a lot larger. And I'm not sure. It's like there's a lot of places in here where it fell in. Man. Oh, and there's more bats up in there. You won't be able to see them on the camera. I can see them now. They're popping out on the red light. Ah, there's about 50 of them up there. Wouldn't that be cool if they all start flying out while I'm in here? So maybe here's a spot where it collapsed. And I get to camp right at the mouth of this thing. So that's a cool overland spot. That's one thing about having an overland rig. You get to camp in some pretty cool spots. Stuff you can't do with a big trailer. I'm gonna head back to camp and get a fire going and relax. Maybe throw a movie on tonight while I pass out and sleep for 6 hours. But that's it for the Lovelock Cave. That's my bat noise. I guess it doesn't work. All right. Oh, hear him? Yeah, my backhaul doesn't work. All right. Yep. I'll hike back down to the rig. As the sun colors the mountains in the background of this shot, it reminds us that each day slips away faster than we realize. Overland travel isn't just about the miles. It's about waking up to moments like these, seizing the day, and living fully in wild places that make us feel alive. If you're watching this video and you're a past or present member of my family, just know that I love you and I'm proud of you, and I hope you find things in life that make you love, live, and experience a full life. Don't be afraid to take chances, and definitely don't waste your time on anything negative. Alright, so that does Lovelock Cave, and spent the night up there last night. It's totally quiet. The coyotes sang to me all night. That was kind of peaceful. Had a nice fire, and wrapping it up, headed back to the Bay Area, the hustle and bustle of life. This was a good getaway. It was a good recharge for me, probably for my family too. So that's the thing about going on these overland trips. I can't wait to get home to see my family. So it was a good one. Hopefully I can put the edit together in a way that makes sense for everybody. But I appreciate everybody that watches and supports my channel and helping my small channel grow. And it's appreciated from the bottom of my heart. I just want to thank everybody for that. I will see you on the next trip, and there's going to be a lot more, so stay tuned. Signing off for C2 Overland, this is Paul, and safe travels everybody.